Hello all and welcome to our latest edition of Big Game Players with myself, Super, and my co-host Banjo. Banjo, how are we doing?
Yeah, very well, Super. How are you?
Yeah, good. So you're not in the country at the moment, are you? So where are you?
At the moment, I'm in sunny Cyprus.
Sunny
So,
Cyprus, and you've taken your
yeah,
time out to join today into the commitment to the pod.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to prioritise. And
got
this is
prioritize. And what sort of
this,
weather
this
we
is
got out
top of the
there?
list. As always, as you can imagine, hot. It's lovely. Lovely
30s?
weather.
Are you hitting the
Yeah,
30s over
touch
there?
of touching 30, yeah. Really nice. Today, I don't know, a little bit overcast. Well, I say a little bit overcast. For Cyprus, it's not been as hot today, but no, nevertheless, beautiful. Lovely weather.
Okay. Well, let's go through some of the topics we're looking at today. Well, Banjo, I want to start with United actually. Um, so we spoke. Cunha's in the bag. Brian and Bemo.
Yeah.
So was linked with yourselves. Was advanced.
Yeah.
Some were claiming.
There's mixed reports, really. The other day, obviously, Thomas Frank has been appointed Spurs manager, and it seems that they are in for him as well. They seem to have shown an interest, and
He's
I don't
going
know.
there basically, isn't he? I mean, I'd go there.
So
I'd go there. I mean, sure. I mean, if you take your Man United hat off, where are you going right now?
why would you go there? I mean,
Well,
what will make you? Okay, you got the manager, but Frank, but you give me your argument why you would choose Spurs over United, and I'll give you my argument why I wouldn't choose Spurs.
I'm leaving Brentford.
Okay,
I want to go and play some Champions League football. I want to go and play European football. Forget Champions League. I want to play
okay,
some sort of European football.
okay.
Um, I want to join a potential. I won't say a settled lineup, but I'm certainly going to go to a manager who I think is going to be given a fair crack of the whip there. Yeah, I know Thomas Frank. There's no unknown entity there. I've played with him. I've worked with him for a few years. He knows what I'm going to want. He knows where I'm going to want to play.
Okay.
He's going to play a certain way that I'm used to.
Okay.
And I don't have to move far either.
Okay. No, good argument. Good points there you put there. Now, apart from the location and the European football, I don't think there's much of an argument because the reason being, if it had been, for example, Arsenal in for him, Liverpool in for him, City in for him,
But they're in
Chelsea
the
in for him.
Champions League, the same as all those teams.
Yeah, but this
Albeit
is
I'm the one that said that the reward was too big for what they won. But they are in it.
no,
So as a player, I want to go and play in the elite European
I appreciate that,
trophy.
I appreciate that, but you're going to a team who's likely to not do anything in that tournament, and there's a very big chance, following a 17th place finish last season, who may not even qualify for it again next year. So you have to look at the bigger picture. You've said Thomas Frank is going there, and he may want to play for his former manager or his, last season's manager who he was with, and he knows the style of football. But let's be honest here with Spurs. It can it not turn out how it did for Santos when he was there? Those fans turn very quickly. If Frank doesn't hit the road running, especially after
Sorry,
the
when you say
emotional.
Santos, you're talking Nuno, yeah?
Yeah, Nuno Santos. Yeah, of
Nuno.
course.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're
sorry.
saying Nuno when he was. Well, you think he was only there for a few months, but I mean, look, they could play different styles of football for starters.
I appreciate that. But
Tottenham, Frank's clearly a bit more of a front foot manager than Nuno is with his defensive sort of pragmatism and what have you not. But
they turn very quickly, those supporters. And if he doesn't pick up results early on, they will turn on him, especially after the emotional win in the Europa League, where where many of them started to, back Ange more than they were before the final. So this is the thing. You mentioned Frank. Is there a guarantee Frank's going to be there that long?
There's no
is there a guarantee
with all due respect, there's no guarantee Amorim's going to be there that long. Some are questioning whether he should still be there now. It was a pretty much. It's been pretty much like a car crash since he's been there.
But he's not going to be signing for the manager. He'll be signing for the club. And I don't think Spurs, as a team, they won the Europa League and they got Champions League football, but they're not in a better place. As a team, they're Manchester United. So my point is, okay, the location, he won't need to move. He's got the manager there. That might not last that long, knowing what happens at that club. So, and those two...
Banjo, United, they're so far from it at the moment. They are far from at the races, Banjo. I mean, I know you're a United...
So Spurs.
But they are in the Champions League. They've got a platform to build, and there's a new manager there. What's going to make a player right now? Gyökeres is another one in the news this week. He's almost begging these players now. Gone are the days where these players, United wanted them, they wanted to go, and United are rumoured to be offering these players big money, but they still don't want to go.
With Gyökeres, if he's apparently his preference is Arsenal, that I can understand. They've got much more of a stable team. They're qualifying for Champions League year in, year out. Last season, they went deep in the Champions League. So I can completely understand London as well as a destination. I could completely understand why he might prefer to go to Arsenal than United. Less of a risk. You going to Spurs, in my opinion, is as much of a risk as going to Manchester United. That is how I feel. So when I'm countering your argument for him to choose Spurs, I'm not arguing why wouldn't he choose United. I'm asking why would he choose Spurs.
Give me 3 reasons right now why any player would choose United. You're a player. You want to go. You want to further your career. You've arguably earned the right to further your career and play for a better club than maybe where you're at. Why am I going to United right now?
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you reasons. It's a huge, huge club with huge interest worldwide. The name Manchester United carries a lot of weight. Number one, you signed for United.
That's fading. But youngsters these days, Banjo, they're supporting City. Right, these youngsters I'm talking to more and more people now who are that sort of 16, 17, 18-year-old, and they're Man City fan, even early 20s.
But United still got the most fans in the world. So my point is, you signed for United,
Asia,
all of a sudden... No, they have. You signed for United. You signed for United, and you're as a brand, your own brand, for yourself and your social medias and everything goes up astronomically the moment you sign for that club. That's one thing. The second thing, you're playing in front of almost 74,000 people, home games. That will appeal. Also, some footballers, it might actually touch their ego where they want to be part of the United side, which returns.
This isn't going to return, Banjo. This is showing no signs of return, Banjo. You know, I think.
No, but I'm just saying, though, if those could be the reasons.
That return could take 7-8 years.
Plus you get paid well. So there you go. There's 4 reasons.
That's a big one, actually. I think bar that one, and you offer him more money, and you went down that road 4, 5, 6 years ago. You offered more money, and then, I think you then started attracting some players in the last 2-3 years where Ten Hag maybe was on the cusp, but wasn't quite good enough, but on the cusp of maybe. Ollie got you around the top 4, and maybe, again, people were like
Ollie finished runners-up. Ollie was qualified for Champions Leagues, and he finished runners-up.
Then you could come away from paying astronomical wages. And then now it almost seems now you're back in that boat of the only way you're going to get these players is by offering them something stupid.
Yeah.
250 grand a week.
Yeah, but is that true?
Well,
is that true? But my
would you
point
be surprised if it was less than 200? I would.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. They've been saying Omar Barada, the CEO, and we can see how Ratcliffe is dealing with the finances at the club as well.
Only with
There
the
are
dinner ladies by the scenes, where he's getting rid of all the dinner ladies and all the canteen staff and all the backroom people
yeah.
and the lesser jobs. Even Fergie got sacked.
No, but the thing is, my point
He's
is
like your
this:
club
they
hero. Club
they
legend got sacked.
they want the players. They've made it very very clear that they want players only who want to come to Man United. Amarin keeps saying that as well, for the right reasons, who want to play for Man United. So I'm surprised with the thing that their belief is if we throw more wages at it, we'll get them. Kuna wanted to come, all right? They want players who want to come. Now, with the
Well,
trimming of the start,
it makes you wonder, did anyone else actually want Cunha? Because I didn't see a lot of links.
but
I saw maybe Newcastle, but I think Newcastle was
I think
based on who Isaac left.
I think the Kuna one was conversations were going on a long time ago, and I think he agreed a long time ago. The rumours were even long before the season ended.
Maybe you were 10th at the time.
Sorry?
Maybe you were 10th at the time. Before he realised that you finished 7th, 15th or wherever you finished.
But the point
it got worse.
The thing is, I think what Ratcliffe understands though is if you want to make money as a football club and you want to and you want United to go back to where they are, you cannot do it without a good team. Simple as that. So if you want the business to grow, the business will only grow, the brand will only grow furthermore if you've got a good team. So if it means you cut certain staff and other bloated staff at United, at Old Trafford, to bring in the right players to improve the team, that's for me, that's like an investment, isn't it? It's obviously spending with the foresight of making more money or becoming. You need a good team. You need, as you can see, you're talking about Man City, their business. No coincidence. As a club, as a business, it's grown on the basis of a good football team. So this is the thing. But like I said, if anyway, it seems to have cooled anyway the United and Mboma links, but maybe that's to do with the window closing, and I think it reopens tomorrow. So I think tomorrow from tomorrow we'll probably learn a little bit more. But
if I'm in Mboma, I'm going Spurs. I've got no reason, by the way, to say that. I'm a Liverpool fan. I've got no reason to say that. But if I'm in Mboma right now, well, unless Man United are offering me a good sort of 70, 80, 90, 100 grand a week more, maybe that would make me reconsider. Let's not be naive to think finances don't play a part.
I don't think the argument of going to, I'm not saying he shouldn't go to Spurs, he definitely should go to United. I'm not saying that. But I don't think the argument of going to Spurs completely outweighs going to United. Had it been a Liverpool or Arsenal where they're, year in, year out in the Champions League, competing in that competition, fighting for titles, even though Arsenal just finished second all the time. But this is what I mean, City as well. Then I could understand it. Gyökeres, understand it. Yeah, I'm not going to argue, he should come to United over Arsenal. I won't do that because you can see the state of the two teams. So in comparison, but the Spurs thing, I don't buy it. They finished 17th.
Right.
They finished 17th. I'm not buying it. And you talk about European football. How long is that going to last for? And they need it. And will they be in it next year? Who knows?
So you touched on it. Man City currently in the World Club Cup.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this tournament that's ongoing? I think they've said a good few weeks or a month it's going to last.
I won't lie. I don't know too much about it. I don't know. Maybe you could shed some more light on it and how you qualify for the actual tournament. I think Chelsea and City are both in it due to winning the Champions League over the last 5 years. Am I correct?
I think there's four teams from each continent going to play in this competition. So I mean,
okay.
I don't know if it's.
Well, can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Say for example, another club. I don't know, it was PSG and Inter Milan in the final. of the Champions League, and I think they're both in it, aren't they?
They both in it, I think.
Both in the
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Had Arsenal gone all the way, would they be in it this year? Because
No,
a lot
from
of it
what
is
I,
in it.
no, I
Is
think
it
the
based
team.
up?
No, it was decided a while back, from what I gather. So even like someone like Liverpool, I know that we weren't going to be in it from earlier on in the
Okay.
season. So the two teams were established on previous
Okay.
achievements. No more than two from any
So
country.
okay.
Hence
So
why
I'm going to ask
Chelsea
you a
and
question.
City. Yeah,
Why is Inter Milan and PSG in it?
you got into. I know PS3 are certainly in it. I think Bayern Munich are
Why?
playing in it. It must be because
Why?
of things they've done in the past. Like I said, not well enough informed to tell you, but it's just another.
No,
It's
but
just another tournament added to a calendar.
is it Real Madrid in it?
Real Madrid are in it, so
Barcelona as
clearly,
well, aren't they?
yeah.
I think I'm interested to see how these teams fare against the European teams like Al Ali. Is that did I say that correctly?
You got Al Ahly
Saudi
in
team.
there. You got
Yeah, I'd like
Auckland.
in
I mean,
yeah
Auckland's getting. We're getting a turning
into
over from.
Miami as well. I'd like to
Yeah.
see. I mean, I'm quite interested to see it, especially into Miami, an American team.
How would
I'm
it,
interested to
how would this impact City and
see how
Chelsea
they
going
fare.
into next season? They're obviously going to have
How?
a. They're obviously now going to have a shorter window,
Yeah.
a shorter
Are
summer
they?
break.
And are they going to go full pelt with it? This is my point. How are they going to set up their sides? Are they picking their strongest 11, or are they going to use it to give some younger players some more experience? Are they seeing it as a pre-season tournament?
Well,
Or
with the fact that City are trying to we're buying players up to sort of the beginning of the tournament so that they can play in the tournament. That doesn't do much to suggest what you've just sort of indicated there. So
what what's your thoughts? So, how interested are you to follow this or watch it? Have you watched it? I know it's already started.
no,
Have you
it
seen any of
started.
it?
No, it's on DAZN. I haven't got a subscription. I don't intend to subscribe to
Oh,
yet
is it?
another thing. Um, but
No.
no, I haven't really got. I'll follow results, no doubt. As you do. We'll see, and no doubt we'll discuss some things about it on the show as the tournament goes on. But my appetite for
Right.
it, well, there's no Liverpool in it, so that always detracts a little bit from it. But I just think it's just
I
another
don't like.
tournament.
It doesn't seem. I think it's quite blurred how teams have qualified for it. I want to know hard facts how a team qualify for it, because without me knowing that, or if it is how it seems to me, quite contrived to get certain clubs in there, like your Real Madrids and Barcelona's, then then it loses a little bit of credibility. Like into Miami, for example, with Messi, it's like they just wanted that team in there because of
Well,
Messi and Beckham being the owner or whatever.
well, I'll tell you what,
Barcelona,
Banjo.
what have they done? What have they done in the last 5 years?
Rather
They've
than
not won the
spec,
Champions League.
rather than speculate, let's be the professionals we're going to claim to be, and let's come back next week with
Yeah,
answers. We'll do some
concrete
research.
answers.
And
I think so.
let's let our listeners know who how these teams have got into this tournament and
Or,
why.
or,
And
or if any of our listeners, already do know, please let us know in the comments,
definitely, please do.
because
Save us some research.
we clearly need to be informed.
Yeah. And then what worries me though, it's another tournament. I mean, it doesn't worry me because actually they're our rivals, Man City and Chelsea. But
Yeah.
what is concerning for those clubs is their players are going to play this month-long tournament. If it started in mid-June, it's going to finish mid-July. A month later, the season starts. If these players are going to be given a break, that normally means that some of these players maybe will miss the first few games so
Well,
they
yeah,
can recover.
yeah, but this is what happens when there's international tournaments, isn't there? So, like, but when these players go off, to play the tournaments with their country, normally they come back and they might miss the first 2 or 3 games or play very sparingly in those games of the beginning of the Premier League season. So I can't see how this is going to be any different.
Can you afford to be missing players? If you're one of those clubs, you're those clubs. Right now, the league over the last few years, there has been seasons. It's gone down to 1 or 2 points here and there, 4 or 5 points here and there. Can you afford to have 3, 4 weeks currently, or 3, 4 games that you're missing some of your best players?
If you're not going to pick up results, no, I don't think so. No, I don't think you can afford to because it's too much of a risk.
But it's worth a lot of
dropping
money.
players.
It's worth a
Yeah.
lot of money, this tournament, clearly, because all these teams are trying to do their business early. So they want to do well in it, they make no mistakes. The early lineups I've seen from the teams that have gone there, they are playing strong teams.
Yeah,
So they're playing strong teams. They haven't gone there to oh yeah, it's a little end of season.
how do you think the players are feeling about this tournament? Because a lot of them are international footballers. They must look forward to their summer breaks when there is actually no football at all. I wonder how they're feeling about it, because it just looks like every season, at the end of every season, there's going to be some sort of tournament for them to play.
And this is and that's just it, because obviously end of next year we've got the World Cup,
Yeah, exactly.
sort of summer,
Exactly.
and then but that's where we've gone now. People think these footballers are machines, and I
Yeah,
think
but
people think, oh, they earn lots of money, so they should be able to play every day. But
yeah, and
that's it's nonsense.
well, it is nonsense. It doesn't matter how much money someone earns; they're human beings at the end of the day. And I rather watch players at the top of their game and not picking up injuries, because over the last couple of seasons, as a whole, especially in the Premier League, so many teams have suffered with injuries. Not one or two, loads. So, as a football supporter, someone who loves football, not just my football club, but who loves to watch football, I want to see the best players, or the team's best players. I want to see them on the pitch, and I want to see them at the peak of their powers. So, at the end of the day, they might be getting squeezed out of every bit of energy they've got to play in all these tournaments, but you're actually losing the actual high quality that we enjoy, and then you just, off the back of all this, you just see him. He's out for a month. This one's out for 6 months. Another injury here. Another injury. I don't want to see that.
And the worst
I'd
thing
rather
is,
they play less games.
well, the worst thing is, from when the season ended, they were playing international. Some of them, they haven't had a break
They
even from
can't.
the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Well, this is we spoke last week about how pointless some of these international games are. And I just asked you a question a few minutes ago. How do the players perceive this World Championship tournament? But there's no way these players could have been enthusiastic to go and play
But
some.
there is a lot of money on offer. There are incentives, from what I gather, for these clubs to do well in it.
For the clubs,
Whether,
but
whether,
the
whether,
players,
yeah, those
no.
players no doubt are on some nice bonuses. I think Madrid were on big bonuses, hence wanting to get the Trents in there and paying 10 million to
I
get
think,
Trent in a month earlier.
yeah,
Jonathan Tah from Leverkusen, Bayern Munich paid extra to get him involved. So these teams are paying extra. Man City have done
they want
business
the
to
money.
get players involved in the tournament.
They want the money.
They want the money. They want the money.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's all about money. But I think you might see bigger squads now, if this is
Well,
going to become the norm.
well, that's an interesting thing, because Pep's adamant, if I've got a bigger squad, I'm not going to stay. He's actually come out and said,
Has it gone as far as that?
Yeah, he's gone out and said, oh, I don't want 25-man squads. He goes, I don't want to I don't want to have to leave 5, 6 recognised players out
Which
of
I
the
understand.
squad. He goes, because it's not good, because I think he's getting asked loads of questions by the media. Why don't you like him? Why don't you like that? But if you've got 25 players all capable of being in a squad, it's not about who you like and who you don't like. It's
No,
you are
exactly.
going to have to leave 7
yeah.
out.
But is that realistic over the season to not have such a big squad? But talking of that, Jack Grealish has been left out, hasn't he?
Jack Grealish
He's
left
not.
out. He's clearly on his way.
Yeah, you're not going to stay there after that.
So interestingly, a few teams linked. I've seen this week. The Newcastle I've seen linked. Maybe
Yeah,
that might be a good move for him there. Possibly there might be a. I think that merry-go-round with Newcastle. I think a lot of it, interestingly, some of it could actually depend on Luis Diaz at Liverpool, because I think if he goes, there's rumours of Gordon,
Gordon.
and then if Gordon goes, then obviously they're going to look for that left-sided playing
Yeah,
Grealish.
yeah. How much do you think Grealish will go for though? Was he 29 years old? A couple of years
29.
ago, it was 100 million. He's obviously nowhere near that now.
I don't
60,
know.
50, even that it might be.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think he's more than a £40 million player. So I
Yeah,
think
50 million maybe.
somewhere around that 50 million, you'll probably
Mm,
see some sort of deal done
mm.
for a team. De Bruyne this week
Yeah,
announced his new
Napoli.
club.
Good move for him.
Yeah, look, there was talk that he might hang around the Premiership, but Villa, Liverpool, I saw, but that wasn't going to be the reality. It's not a Liverpool type signing. Um,
No.
Villa, I think, rumours are they need to sell now that they didn't make the Champions League, so that wasn't
Was
going
he
to
what? But
happen either.
I think he probably. I think he's hinted before that he wanted to try something new though. So maybe abroad is what he wanted to do.
Is it a slightly slower game in Italy?
Yeah, it will suit him. He could maybe be just as effective there now because it is slightly a slower game. And if he does well, they will idolise him there. Like they have done with McTominay. It's a pure football city. So I can see
Yeah,
why Napoli appealed to him. But it doesn't look like a good fit. I
doesn't
don't
look
know.
like. I
For
think he's
me,
going to sit in that hole. He's going to thread those through balls. You've got Lukaku there.
yeah,
He's going to thrive
yeah,
on that, surely. Um,
yeah.
slower game. Yeah, I think, he wanted to. I don't think he was quite ready to go play that MLS or Saudi football just
No, no,
yet.
no. It's
So
too good for
credit to
that.
him for not going and doing that, which a lot of players are doing now,
Mm.
for obvious reasons, no doubt. And then following on from that, also we see Rene Gattuso got the Italian national manager's job there, which I
Yeah,
thought might maybe a bit of a strange one there. I don't, not really a
he's
manager
replaced
who's done
Spalletti, hasn't
much.
he?
He has.
He's replaced Spalletti. That I think Gattuso has gone in. Well, I don't know how good he is as a manager. If I'm honest with you, I'm not.
I can't think of anywhere he's been a
No.
raving success.
It seems a bit.
Um,
It seems like he's been appointed on passion and maybe a bit of PR there, really. Because I'm not sure about his credentials, if I'm totally honest.
is it a squad that requires discipline? Don't know. That's the only
Well,
thing I can think of that he would bring to the
yeah,
table right now.
maybe. But it's a strange one, isn't it? It's a strange
Manager.
one.
Yeah. If there's again any Italian fans, listeners,
Yeah.
give
What
us
do
a
you
comment.
think?
Let us know what you think. Let us know
Yeah.
why you think Gattuso
And
has been deemed good enough
yeah, and are
to,
you
to,
pleased?
to are you
How do you feel
pleased?
about it? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I'm interested to know. But yeah, that's a strange one.
A
Strange one
strange
for
one.
me. Yeah, I was surprised when I saw that.
And actually, another thing I did see in the news recently, and I wanted to speak to you about, as a Garnacho apparently publicly, what rumours, what truth in that from what you know or heard that Garnacho publicly told find a new club, you better find a new club in front of his teammates.
Apparently, yeah. I think that's
Any
from the
truth in
people.
that?
I think so. The people who've reported it, reputable people. Obviously, they work for the Athletic. They don't do speculation, and apparently that's what was said. But I think United were looking to sell him last January.
Napoli, interestingly, were the club that were
Yeah,
heavily linked in that window.
yeah, they were very interested, and I think they were looking to sell him, but it never happened. He then, to be fair to him, he knuckled down. He was working hard. He worked hard all season after initially being left out of one of Amorim's matchday squads, and he's been starting, and he's done okay. I think he's got 11 goals in the Premier League in a struggling team last season.
So
But
why is he looking to offset him? It's hardly like he's
I
littered with talent there, and he's got so many.
I
Or is it is it the money and the
I
to
think I think the money comes into it because he's an academy player, so it works with PSR. I think he has a ceiling as a player. He hasn't got that extra burst of speed to get away from players. His decision making can be quite poor at times, but he's exciting. What is good about him? He always tries to play on the front foot, and makes things and he's positive and tries to make things happen. But as well, I think a lot of it, he is quite self-absorbed as well. And his brother has been talking. His brother is his mouthpiece, okay, and was especially. And I think the lineups were getting leaked through his brother on Twitter. His brother always seemed to tell the whole world what the lineup was.
you actually have that
Okay.
mentioned to me that to me
Yeah,
before
and
that you felt the
and
teams were getting leaked by
yeah, and that
him.
stopped. That stopped after they said, "Yeah, we've come, we've worked basically our investigations. We've worked out what's happened," and that stopped. And then after the Europa League final, the first thing was his brother again, the mouthpiece, tweeted, "Oh, Alejandro, he scored in every round or whatever he did, and
Left out of that
he's
final,
been
right?
he's
Left out
been
the
left
starting
out and
11.
thrown under the bus." Yeah, yeah. And then Garnacho in after the game in an post match interview said, "I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not happy." So it became about him. And I think, to be honest with you, as a fan, I'm not that fussed. Not that fussed. Maybe because we're so bad. Whatever happens, for example, I didn't want Bruno to leave. I was so pleased that he decided not to go Saudi. But I'm not fussed about Garnacho. I think you can improve the team without him. And I don't want those players anymore who talk as if they're doing you a favour. You know, you're not doing us a favour. All right, you weren't picked. Maybe you should have been. Maybe you should have come on earlier. It is what it is. But
What? Where does he go?
well, apparently, I'm reading that he wants to stay in the Premier League. But I don't know what he's looking at because.
So I think I've seen again just rumours, but Villa. But I'm assuming they'd have to let go of people to bring him in.
Okay, yeah, but
Chelsea?
it's that time. I think Chelsea were interested, so it could be that. Maybe that's why he wants to stay in the Premier League because maybe the Chelsea interest is strong and genuine, and it's London as well. But I mean, Villa's great club, good club, but you're not talking about one of the top dogs, are you?
Because they've called their interest in Jadon Sancho. That doesn't look like it's happening with Chelsea. Again,
So maybe they'd rather invest in Garnacho instead.
well, the rumor there, you guys are paying him 340 odd thousand at United or whatever silly money. Again, in the phase of throwing out your money to try and get people in. And,
Disaster.
The rumor I've seen is that Chelsea then said, "We won't be able to give you that. We'll give you 200 grand." And he was like, "Okay." He was willing to talk to him apparently, even at 200 grand a week. But then I think in conversations it was lowballed again. And
I think they decided against it. Chelsea. They actually prefer to pay United £5 million.
I think you get to a stage in a deal where you're like, if it's cheap enough, I'll have it. If it's not cheap enough, then I'm not fussed.
But the likes of Sancho and Rashford are never going to be cheap enough because of their wages. This is the problem. This is why it's difficult to offload because their wages.
I heard he was willing to take the cut. I heard he was willing to take that cut. But I think Chelsea wanted to cut the cut. So
they probably looked at their options and probably thought something is better value elsewhere.
Better value elsewhere. Okay. Yeah. Well, Banjo, I think that brings us towards the end of our show today.
Oh, brilliant.
Some interesting...
We haven't spoke about Liverpool. Anything going on there? You've got to give us your weekly Liverpool report. Is there anything?
So Florian Wirtz finally signed 100 million plus 16 million in add-ons. Yeah. Is a big news there. Big money.
Big money.
Look, German Player of the Year, 2 seasons on the spin. Will comes with a lot of promise and big signing. So quite excited by that one. That one's finally done. Kirkes, they claim, is as good as done.
Yep.
The surprise rumour coming out of Liverpool actually over the last few days is Andy Robertson looking like
Is it Atletico Madrid?
a lot of noise. Yeah,
Who's linked with
Atletico
him?
Madrid primarily.
How much? What's the rumour?
Another one of our fullbacks wanting to hit Madrid.
But it makes sense. Like you say, slower football. I mean, Trippier went out there, didn't he? He did well, by all accounts. So
I personally want to see Robbo stay as our backup left back. Or certainly, or rotating, maybe a bit of rotation with Kirkes. I think Tsimikas is the one that personally I'd like to see go. But I think there's a rumour that he's going as well, by the way.
Where's he going to go?
He's been linked with like Forest, West Ham,
right.
Olympiacos, possibly back to Greece.
Yeah. I think with Robertson, I think it's one of them where he's been such a fantastic servant that the club actually will do what he wishes. So for Liverpool, like you say, you'd like him to be your backup left back. But if he says, I'd like to go elsewhere, try another country, another culture, and play regularly, I think because the respect is so much, is there and it's so high for him. And for what he's done for Liverpool, they'll say, okay, we'll grant you that. And they might not even ask for a lot of money.
I think the bigger thing with that, Banjo, by the way, is I think he's in for more so. Look, as this season, maybe he wasn't quite at the level he's been at in previous seasons, Andy Robertson. So I think more so, though, it's the influence he has on the team. Like he does have that sort of, leadership captain sort of voice as well. It's in the circle of captains at the club.
What they call it, leaders group.
The leaders group, he's very much in that, very much part of the banter and part of the, but also I think he's the sort that, we could tell he strikes as a side that will train hard and he'll work hard and he knows when to be serious, Robertson, and, doesn't like losing. You could tell certain characters, they don't like losing, and Robertson will be sort of very much in that camp. But we will see. That's that one. The other one is obviously Nunes and Diaz. Watch that space with both of those this summer.
Who's Nunes linked with?
Nunes, Saudi Arabia, rumours won't go away. But at the same time, Atletico Madrid, I think, hold an interest. And Napoli, I've seen to an extent as well. But Napoli, I can't see giving the money.
Napoli's got Lukaku as well.
He's got Lukaku.
But the Napoli's in the Champions League, so they might want some to bulk up their squad.
And then Atletico. I mean, the one I'd love to see is us give Nunes and a few millions, 20, 30 million, give or take, and take Alvarez. But that would be an exciting sort of bit of business for us. But
that'd be fantastic.
We'll see if anything like that can happen. But
watch this space. Yeah.
And like I said, Diaz is the other one that's a funny one, that one, because it's.
Well, we spoke about that last week as well, didn't we?
Yeah, sort of coming up, not coming away. We're not desperate to let go of him. I think he's got 2 years to go in his contract, so not as urgent as some. But I think if the right deal came along, don't be surprised if you see Diaz go this summer.
It's all going to hot up. It's this week the window reopens. Yeah. This week coming, so we might have plenty to talk about in the next episode.
Well, let's see. Content. With your boys, no doubt. If you can throw enough hundreds of thousands, I'm sure United will get some boys in too. But Banjo, enjoy the rest of your stay in Cyprus.
Thank you. You too, Suter.
Look forward to recording with you next week back in the UK.
Back in the UK, and no doubt I'll see you soon in person.
And next week, World Club Cup. That's the one. We'll touch more on it, what it means, and any listeners that might be able to throw their, what they believe it represents, and whether they think it's a worthwhile competition. Please do.
And for those who are watching it, are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying what you're seeing? So interested to know.
Definitely. Thanks, Banjo.
Thanks, Super.
All the best. Take care.
All the best. Bye. Have a good week.